Hi, everybody, and welcome back for game number 2 between the Union Redhawks as they host the Broken Arrow Tigers here. Excited to have you back. As the first game you saw Union lose to Owasso 7-5. Broken Arrow came back to beat Owasso as they scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 7th to beat Owasso 12-11. So hopefully that momentum will slow down just a little bit as we get started and get ready to start here. As you may see by the camera, the sun is directly in my face. And so we'll start off with Taylor Clay. She leads off, number 21. She's going to be playing second base tonight. And the great thing is that she can't see either, so it's 1-1 now. On the ground to second. Perez can't come up with it, and it's a base hit. That'll bring up Addison Normandy. Addison Normandy steps up, and you remember Addison Normandy from last year. Absolute killer, and that's going to be a base hit. That'll fall. And I just got the lineup handed to me, so as I'm filling out my scorecard, Aaliyah Scarborough steps in. She's going to be playing short. She's on with 2 runners on, nobody out, as we just got underway here. Thanks for joining us on the Union Sports Network, along with Kyla and Andy Irwin. I'm Jim Douthit. Nice backhand by Franklin over to third, and they get the force out. So 1 away. Franklin, that senior prowess is all about it. So Jesse Piles steps in, playing right field. She looks at a first pitch ball. And on deck should be Macy Childers. Three balls, no strikes. And a 4-pitch walk. And that'll load up the bases as the center fielder and Macy Childers steps in.
The center fielder, number 10, Macy Childers.
Williams is needing to find the strike zone here. She's thrown 7 straight balls right now. That'll come across for a strike. Good take there by Childers. And that's going to be a walk and a RBI for Macy Childers. So Josie Henson steps in. She's going to be starting the pitching duties tonight for Broken Arrow, same as she did last game against Owasso. As I said, Broken Arrow came off a hot win. They scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to beat Owasso 12-11. So Owasso will go home tonight 1-1 as they beat us 7-5 early on. Most of you probably saw that game. And Broken Arrow comes back and wins that one, and that's lifted out deep, and nobody can come up with that. Zakara Norman lost it. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score, and that'll be a double. And 2 RBIs for Josie Henson.
The catcher, number 4, Jordan Davis.
So Davis steps in now. And it's 2-1 now. So a 3 spot for Broken Arrow quickly here with only 1 away. 2 runners on, and strike number 2. So 2-2 now, 1 away. The pitch swung on and popped up. Tencia Norman gets out number 2. So Addison Jones steps in. Still an opportunity for the Tigers to put a few more runs on the board here. First pitch swinging. That's through the gap. 1 run will score. Comes around, 2-run score. And it's an RBI single. 2 RBI single, I should say, for Addison Jones. And that'll bring up the left fielder and Hannah Jones now. Boy, not the start that we saw against Owasso. On the ground to Franklin. Up, throws, and not in time. Taylor can't come up with it, and that'll advance the runner to third.
Right center fielder, number 14, Emily Gilliland.
So Emily Gilliland steps in. First and third, 2 outs. Which should have been an out. Unfortunately was kind of coughed up by Taylor. A low throw from Franklin, but she should come away with that. But as I talked about in the first game, again, we've got to be mindful of the fact that Coach Robinson's got 5 freshmen in this starting lineup. So a young team, a very young team. So you have to manage the ebbs and flows when that happens, and that's hit out to left field. 1 run will score. It'll be first and second. And we can head back to the top of the order for Taylor Clay.
Second baseman, number 21, Taylor Clay.
Clay got a base hit her first time up, kind of started this inning off. Steps back in. And as I said, what was a great start for the Redhawks against Owasso has not come to fruition here. Popped up, Franklin back, and a grab, and they're out of the inning. But not before Owasso puts up a 6 spot. Union comes up. We'll see the likes of Williams, Franklin, and Norman when we come back. Back live here. So Jocelyn Williams steps in here. Gave up a 6 spot in the top of the first, so we'll see what Jocelyn can do here. She's got Williams, Franklin, and Norman 1, 2, 3 starting off here. And the sun has began to take even effect a little bit on the home plate umpire. He's covering up his eyes himself. That's a strike. So 1 and 2 now. Defensively in the outfield, Hannah Jones, Childers, Gillian, and Piles, left to right. Normanton at third, Scarborough at short. Clay and Jones make up the right side of the infield, and Henson and Davis are your battery for the Tigers. And I'll go around the horn when Union goes back to the field, because while Broken Arrow was batting, I was handed their starting lineup, so I was trying to fill up my lineup card while you guys were watching, and quickly there's a strikeout to Williams. Monica Franklin steps in. Monica Franklin hit the ball on the rope a couple of times, but she ran into a young lady by the name of Downing, who was in their right field for Owasso and had a couple of fantastic plays to rob Franklin of a hit. Even though she picked up an RBI, it was still pretty tough. Franklin will step out. And the delivery. A little short, and it's 3-0. Walked her on 4 pitches. So Franklin will come up. Or excuse me, Frankman will walk. My apologies. Franklin will trot down to first, and Tensia Norman will come to the plate. First pitch strike. That's popped. That'll fall. That'll get down. And a base hit for Norman. Advances the runners and keeps players coming up as Estrella Ramirez will step in. Playing right center field this afternoon. Pretty much the same lineup we saw against Owasso. Difference will be the battery tonight, and I'll talk about that in a minute as that's popped up. And that's trouble. That gets down. Franklin on her horse. There's going to be a play at the plate. There's not. And Franklin comes around to score. Estrella Ramirez with kind of a seeing eye single, if you will. It got up, and a bunch of players converged on it, but quite couldn't come up with it. And Hans will step in, playing center field. So first and second for the Red Hawks. I'll catch the inside part of the plate, and it's 1-1. Popped up out of the circle. She lost her step, but Hanson with a nice recovery, and there's 2 away.
First base number 18, Lily Taylor.
So Taylor steps in. First pitch swinging. And that'll be another out. So Union pushes one across. 6-1. Tigers on top.
We're athletes.
Coaches.
And your child's high school athletic trainer.
We're your friends and neighbors.
And we make our home
in green country.
Like you, we run
And fish.
hike
And bike.
We enjoy the mountains.
and lakes.
So we know how important
Staying active is to you. Staying active is to you.
We're physicians.
and therapists
Our groundbreaking treatments.
are helping you heal faster.
Helping you
heal faster.
We're Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma.
And we're the team physicians for more universities.
More high schools.
And more club teams.
than all other providers combined.
We're focused on providing you
Personalized orthopedic care. Personalized orthopedic care.
Treating the area's best teams.
And the athlete in all of us.
and the athlete in all of us.
So welcome back. Norman in first pitch swinging, and there's one away. Yep. Megan Moran came up with a great catch there, and there's one up.
Shortstop number 5, Aaliyah Scarborough.
Scarborough reached on a sacrifice. Actually, really not a sacrifice, more of a infielder's choice. Back in the first, part of the 6-run inning that that Broken Arrow had. That's lifted. That'll be a base hit. That'll get down. Just like that.
Number 22, Jessie Piles.
Piles the first time up. She walked, playing right or right center field tonight for the Tigers. Swung on, that'll be a base hit. That'll get down. Advances the runners, so first and second now. And that'll bring up center fielder Macy Childers.
Center fielder number 10, Macy Childers.
So Childers come in. She walked with the bases loaded last time. She'll get credit with an RBI. And she's first pitch swinging. That's hit out to the left field. And a catch made by Hance. So Hance comes up with the catch. Almost kind of shoot off Norman. But she may have had a better track on it than Norman did. She waved off Zakara Norman, and there's 2 away. So defensively, left to right, Norman, Hance, Ramirez, and Moran. Tensi and Norman and Franklin on the left side of the infield. Perez and Taylor on the right. And your battery is Jocelyn Williams. And Bree Arvey is getting the start behind the plate. So really the only change for Coach Robinson between this game and the game against Owasso is Arvey behind the plate. And that's popped up. Hance got it. And that's it. And that'll do it. So a better inning for Union for sure. They'll get a chance to dig into this 5-run lead when we come back.
Leading off for the Red Hawks. In the bottom of the second, right fielder number 15, Megan Moran.
Megan Moran steps in as we welcome you back here to Girls Softball right here on the Union Sports Network. Hanson back to pitch as I try to find some shade in the press box here so I could see. 2-0. Out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Raising Cane's right now. In Stillwater, the Red Hawks and the Pioneers are knotted at 1 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Thanks to Tony Tempest and the Game Changer app he showed me, I'm able to give you guys that. On the ground, to short, over, and it's thrown wildly. Scarborough didn't get a good throw on it. It goes all the way into the dugout, and Union's in business. Zakara Norman now steps in. So Norman steps in. Moran with a nice job hitting, and better yet, probably running. I think Scarborough didn't think she was as fast as she was and made her force that throw a little faster than she wanted to and threw it away. So Moran comes up with a single and reaches second base after the throwing error. Pitch number 2 is short for a ball, so it's 1-1. So due upper. Norman, Arvey, and Perez after this. Popped up. Clay. And there's one away. So Arvey steps in. First opportunity we've had to see here this year. First pitch swinging on the ground. They're going to throw to third and gets their lead runner and Megan Moran. Moran couldn't slide underneath the tag. Coach Robinson's giving her a high five. She likes she likes the aggressiveness. So reached on a fielder's choice was Arvey. Danny Perez comes up now. Perez again playing second base as she did in the first game. Second pitch swinging, popped up. Back to catch it is Childers. And that'll do it for Union in the second. 6-1, Tigers still on top.
At Raising Cane's, we're huge football fans, but we're also fans of your local fundraisers and fun runs, small victories and big ideas. And yes, even the neighborhood animal shelter. I was getting to that. Plus over 30,000 other partners in the communities we serve. When you order our hand-battered chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade to cheer on your home team, you're also supporting your hometown. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Hitting up a broken arrow in the top of the third. Catcher number 4, Jordan Davis.
So the catcher and Jordan Davis comes up. She's 0 for 1. She popped out back in the first inning. To Norman, if I remember correctly, if my stats are correct. First pitch ball. Still 1-1 in Stillwater. Brody Briggs is at first. Rogers is at the dish. So 2-1 now. See if Williams can shut him down here. Line down the left field side, foul, thankfully. Davis came around on that one and roped it, but it was just foul. But that one will get through. Just past Franklin. And it's a base hit to start off this inning. Should bring up first baseman and Addison Jones. So Jones steps in. Jordan Davis got a courtesy runner, it appears. May appear to be Emily Evans at first. Try to verify that. Appears to be number 8, but it's tough to tell from where we are. Regardless, the Tigers got a runner on. And it's 1-2 now. And Williams has really calmed down a little bit since that first inning. Defensively, they've played a little better. See what comes of it this inning. That's roped down the right field line. That'll go all the way to the wall. Or excuse me, left field wall. Sure. The run comes home and they're safe. Norman got over there to get it. Cutoff came to Franklin. Franklin couldn't turn around and get it home in time. And Jones with an RBI base hit. So Hannah Jones will step in now. Just outside. Addison Jones ended up at second after the throw and the play at the plate. 1-1 now. On the ground, Franklin backhands it. Looks the runner over. Now she's got her in a rundown. Throw to third. Safe. Franklin needed to get that ball down a little bit, and she didn't. So Jones will reach. And we'll have runners at the corners as Emily Gilliland steps in. On the ground, just foul. She ripped that one down the left field line. Oh-1 delivery. On the ground to third. To second. Not in time, and everybody's safe. Tensia Norman was up and throwing quickly to second, but the runner beat her. Beat the throw to Perez. And we're back to the top of the order. Clay steps into that one. Popped out to center. Not going to test the arm. Boy, and it was a pretty darn good throw. Pretty good throw by Hance. And now there's one away.
The third baseman, number 12, Addison Norman.
Still with the ducks on the pond. Norman steps in. That'll roll all the way to the backstop here. So 7-1, the Tigers on top. Still one out, and they could flat open it up here. They're not careful. Addison Norman is 1 for 2 so far. She got a base hit back in the first, then popped out to right field in the second. The 3-0 delivery comes across for a strike, so it's 3-1. 3-1 now. Swung on, popped out to center. And right at Ramirez. Run will score. And it's 8-1. Aaliyah Scarborough, the shortstop, will step in. Reached on a sacrifice and then a base hit in the second. There's runners at first and second. First pitch was a ball. Second pitch way outside. Now 3-0. And a walk. It's Jesse Piles, the right fielder. She walked back in the first and get a base hit in the second. And again, an opportunity for the Tigers to open it up here. on the ground. That'll get out. 1 run will score, 2 runs score. And a 2 RBI base hit by Piles. So Childers steps up. She also walked back in the first, then popped out in the second. So he's 0 for 1 with an RBI. Go figure. So strike pitch will be 1-1. So the Bride side is due up for the Red Hawks in the bottom of the third. It's 1, 2, and 3. As that's to Norman. She's going to try to beat the runner over to third, and she didn't. A good heads-up play to try to get over there, but I would have rather her just throw to first and get the third out. So Henson steps in. So with runners at first and second, Norman should have just gone to third or gone to first, but those are the decisions you got to make early on. And she thought she could beat the runner over to third, and she couldn't. Now it's popped up. Norman on it, over, and that'll retire it. So her mental mistake doesn't hurt anything, which is good. Although the Tigers put up another 4 spot, and it's 10-1.
Getting out for Union, the bottom of the third. The pitcher, 0-0, Jocelyn Williams.
Welcome back live. 10-1 the score as Williams steps to the dish. Hey, tomorrow night, Stillwater comes to town. Stillwater Pioneers come on over from Stillwater to play your Union Red Hawks. First pitch starts at 6 o'clock tomorrow. T.J. King will be on the mound, most likely for Union. As right now, it's bottom of 4 out in Stillwater. It's knotted at 1. Here it's 10-1, Tigers on top. Strike number 2, so it's 2-2 now to Williams. Williams struck out her first time up. First swinging out to right. There's 1 away. Why we've got a second. Union Sports Network is proud to bring you girls and boys soccer tomorrow night versus Booker T. Washington. Girls start at 6 and boys at 8. So join Brandon McCombs right here on the Union Sports Network. As Franklin rips that first pitch out to right. That's to the wall. That'll get down. Franklin on her horse. She's going to try for 3. The throw, not in time. And she's going to trot home. As the speed of Franklin gets her all the way around the bases. And what she can't do sometimes with the bat, she makes up for with her speed. Norman steps in. Now, if that throw is on and that third baseman can come up with that throw, she's out. Third baseman doesn't come up with the throw and she trots home. So Norman and had a pretty good throw. It kind of maybe skipped on her a little bit off the turf. But regardless, Union gets another run, and it's 10-2. Tensi got a base hit her first time up back in the first. So 3-1 now. On the ground. Scarborough up, throws in time. There's 2 away. So Ramirez steps in. Got a base hit. That base hit got her an RBI because Franklin came all the way around from second to score. Franklin showing off her speed, as she did just moments ago, I should say. We head to the 5th inning in Stillwater, and Stillwater's on top of Union 2-1. In baseball, yes. On the ground, foul. On the ground to second. The first and in time. So Ramirez grounds out, but the home run, if you will, or the triple and the throwing error gets a second run across for the Redhawks. Broken arrow coming up after this.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion. Obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
Welcome back live. Thank Jersey Mike's for their sponsorship, Union Sports Network. Jersey Mike's, I believe they're a sub above, Mr. Irwin. Kaboom, thank you very much. Jordan Davis steps in, the catcher tonight. First pitch strike as the sun is finally starting to set behind the trees here. And I can see again. So 0-2 now. On the ground. Norman, nice pickup throw. Taylor can't come up with it. And Davis will advance to second. And all the way over to third. On a throwing error. Not really, I don't know if it's tough to say if it's a throwing error to Norman or a catching error to Taylor, to Taylor. But either way, base hit turns into a three-bagger. Number 6 would be Natalie, I believe. On the ground to Franklin. She'll let the run score and throw to first in time. So Addison Jones grounds out to Franklin. Left fielder is Hannah Jones. So 11-2 now. Franklin got the sure out and gave up the run. The lead is now 9. On the ground, foul. Well, the way that ball was spinning, I was hoping it was going to go foul because I'm not too sure Norman would have had a prayer to pick that up and gun it to Taylor. Not because of her arm strength, just because of how quickly Taylor was down the line. Or excuse me, how quickly Jones was down the line. 2-1 now. Don't forget, as mentioned earlier, Brandon McCombs can bring you all the girls and boys soccer action tomorrow at 6 and 8 o'clock right here on the Union Sports Network. And it's a walk. So Jones picks up a walk. So Emily Gilliland steps in. Hits a moon shot that Zakara Norman can't come up with. One's down, two's down. That's going to be an inside the Parker. And Gilliland all the way around gets an inside the park home run and scores 2. Zakara Norman lost that. She came in on it, and then it just continued to carry on her. It almost fell at the track, so she started in on the ball and had to turn around. And by the time she had to turn around, it was over her head, and there wasn't anything for her to do about it. Now a base hit past Perez. And the wheels have completely come off the carriage for the Red Hawks. So now Norman steps in, 1 for 3 tonight. Base hit in the first, then popped out in the second and the third. Got an RBI with her pop out or long out to left field. Base hit for her. Run will stay there. So Clay all the way around from first to third. And the route is on for the Tigers.
The shortstop, number 5, Aaliyah Scarborough.
So Scarborough steps in. First pitch swinging, and that's lifted. Back to Hance, and it's gone. A 3-run reel homer that clears the fence. Leaves the yard. Hance went back and kept looking up and ran into the wall, and that was it. And the lead is 14 for the Tigers. As Jesse Piles steps to the dish. Piles tonight 2 for 2. 3 plate appearances as she walked back in the first. That's lifted. Zakara Norman in. Nice catch by her. And there's 2 away.
Center fielder number 10, Maisie Childers.
So Maisie Childers steps in. Walked in the first, popped out in the second, and got a base hit in the third. It appears the plate just got a little bit wider for the home plate umpire. So the 0-1 delivery, swung on the ground. Franklin gets it, gobbles it, sets, throws. Safe. Taylor was off the bag. Good throw and everything. Taylor just didn't trust herself to stretch herself out. And that'll bring up the 10th batter of this inning. On the ground to Franklin. Again throws to first, and that's in time. So the last throw by Franklin to Taylor didn't hurt us. But a 6 spot for the Tigers, and it's 16-2.
Leading up for the Red Hawks in the bottom of the fourth, center fielder number 6, Lily Hance.
So Lily Hance steps to the dish here. Down by 14. First pitch is a ball. Hance popped out back in the first. She's 0 for 1. That'll get a base hit. That'll get down. So a big hole for them to make up. But if you could have heard Sean Moran in the end of the last game between Owasso and Broken Arrow, he said no lead is too big to mount a comeback. And sure enough, the Tigers scored 6 in the bottom of the 7th to beat the Owasso Rams 12-11, as I mentioned earlier. As Lily Taylor steps in. So 14 runs, why not? Crazier things have happened. Just outside, and it's 1-1. Or excuse me, it's 2-0. My apologies. So Lily Taylor popped out back in the first, as I mentioned moments ago. It swung on and popped up. Clay underneath it, and there's one away.
The right fielder number 15, Megan Moran.
So Megan Moran steps in now. She a little bit of a spark for Union back in the second as she got a base hit. Let's get some base runners on, and that's what we need right now. Got a couple of young ladies on this team that can go yard, for the most part, it's base hits are going to get these girls across. That's popped up. Childers underneath it. There's 2 away.
Left fielder number 16, Zakara Norman.
Norman steps up. She also popped out back in the second. Runner at first is still Lily Hance after her base hit, lead off the inning. First pitch ball. Just outside ball 2. Two-0 delivery. That'll be a strike, 2-1. Three and 1. Popped up. Scarborough's underneath it, and that's it. So that'll retire Union. Broken Arrow coming up by 14.
Get $200 from TTCU when you open a new checking account with direct deposit. What would you buy with $200?
100 coloring books and a puppy.
Or maybe some groceries and a tank of gas? $200 from TTCU.
So the run rule was in effect. Broken Arrow takes out Union tonight, 16-2. Our next broadcast comes to you right here on the Union Sports Network tomorrow night as it's girls and boys soccer. As the soccer clubs welcome in the Booker T. Washington Hornets. Girls are at 6, boys are at 8. So join Brandon McCombs right here on the Union Sports Network for all your soccer action. If you want to get outside, come see the boys play baseball tomorrow night as they take on Stillwater. First pitch is at 6 o'clock. That'll be live right here at the Union Baseball and Softball Complex. So thanks for joining us. For Kyla, Andy Irwin, I'm Jim Douthit. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.